So there we go, full time, and it's ended in another defeat for Town, a 2-0 defeat against Charlton, another top 6 promotion contender. It's another defeat against one of those sides. I'm here with good old David. Your thoughts on another defeat for Town and another frustrating watch?
I'm not particularly angry, I have to say, which is sort of the worrying thing. It was entirely predictable. What can you say? Charlton came, they did what they needed to do. Were they brilliant? No, they weren't. They were vulnerable here and there. The difference in our passing, I think, was down to Charlton's style, which, unlike Hull, who were very compact and controlled the middle and worked really hard in there, Charlton were a little bit more open and looked to press the ball out to the flanks that bit more, and I think that gave us more space. That's the simple thing. But we had no threat round the box, a couple of half chances here and there, but we were hoping something would come off. We had no plan, we had no threat, we had no control of the game. Were we better or worse with 4-4-2 at the end? It made no little difference, really, did it? Doesn't help that Judge is the undroppable genius of football. How he stays on, I don't know, but there you go. They should have had a penalty because NCR had brought him down in the first half. Clear penalty as far as I'm concerned. Arguable that if it was a penalty, then he would have gone as well. It's just very, very predictable, like our play. There's nothing there. If you're going to play 3 up front, you need to have people cutting into the box, not wingers. That's part of Bennett's problem, is he's a winger, so he runs down the outside. He doesn't have the judgment to be able to do that cutting in thing. Judge is an anonymous waste of space. And I know people on Twitter have been saying, oh, he wasn't as bad as normal. That doesn't make it good, you know. And that's how I feel about Judge being there. NCR is a liability. They got round behind us too easily. The whole thing is a shambles. Defensive shambles, no midfield, no attacking threat. And with Norwood off with the injury, then any chance of anything goes, because there is a chance with Norwood on the pitch that you're going to get a ball through from Dizelle or from Lancaster or somebody like that. One moment of quality and suddenly you've got a goal. With Norwood off the pitch, then you don't see that's a possibility. So, entirely predictable. It'll happen again. Oxford are coming into some form. Plymouth aren't a bad side. It's going to carry on until the clown leaves the club.
So, Thomas, Mr. Game Day, thank you for joining me once again. Your thoughts on the game?
Well, predictable. Not angry today because it's a top 6 side at the end of the day, and we always lose against them. So we all predicted a loss. We all knew what was going to happen before today, and it's happened. So it's not angry. It may help the fact that I'm putting up my Christmas decorations after this, but it may help to a degree. But even so, I'm feeling deflated. You still hope for a win, no matter who's the manager, but it's got to a point where he's got to go. We can't beat these top 6 sides. We can't do much against them. I mean, I came onto the podcast first and I did a bit of research for you, found out about Charlton. They've got no centre backs. How many times did Dizelle put a through ball through to Norwood or Drinan? Once. And that was when Norwood was still on there. Once in the first half. I don't recall it happening at any other time. Why weren't we pressuring the centre backs when you've essentially got a right back and a centre mid playing there, a makeshift back two? It just doesn't make sense. We were still going to the wing, and we were getting crosses in, but we did nothing with them, and we had one or two chances, but nothing from memory. It's just we're just playing this whole simple football, but we're not getting into the box as much as we should, and we're not threatening, and that's why we haven't scored today. It's just a joke. He's got to go. In my eyes, he should have been gone just after Christmas, before COVID. COVID saved him his job. We all know that. I'd happily go out now and start the car up and take him back to Glasgow. I don't care. He can go. Bye.
Well, Matt, AK View from you two, thank you very much for joining me. Your thoughts on today's defeat?
Well, it's of course it's disappointing. we wanted to see an improvement from the midweek game against Hull, and I think we did see an improvement. There was like flitters of quality from the likes of Judge, shock, horror, horror, shock, horror. Keenan Bennett, or Kieran Bennett, as he's referred to by a local radio commentary team. You know what the frustrating thing for me, Ross, is that we had no cutting edge, and Charlton were there for the taking. They had Gunter and Matey Boy at centre back, and Norwood was great for the first 15 until he got injured. I even saw a cross. I even saw Keenan Bennett get the ball, run along the line, cross it in, and Ben Amos, arguably a lower Premier League goalkeeper / top Championship goalkeeper, got the ball. So we're getting there. It wasn't as bad as we thought / hoped it might be, because I think if we have a few more of these performances, then I don't know, is there going to be any change? Are the green shoots of revival like flourishing up? We've got tons of injuries. I mean, it's, as Mick Mills said, what is happening to our club, and I think he's right. Why are so many players getting injured? Cornell slipped, obviously Norwood slipped, loads of other people slipped. Do they not have like 2 sets of boots like I did when I played in the 4th division of the Bury St Edmunds League when I was 10? But there you go. I've rambled on enough.
Well, John, thank you very much for joining me as ever, and have a defeat to talk about. Your thoughts?
I can't say I'm surprised, Ross, and that's probably the most sad thing about this week. I thought we played better than we had, definitely better than we did against Shrewsbury, probably better than we did against Hull, but we still weren't very good. We passed it around with a bit more zip and a bit more purpose. And I know Mick Mills said something along the lines of different range of passing as well, which was better in the first half. But I've got to be honest, once they scored, we never looked like we were going to even equalise, let alone go on to win. And, it felt almost inevitable today. And that's really sad that a third home fixture in a row, I went into it predicting a 2-0 defeat. And, that's what it was. And I don't take much pleasure from that because I wanted us to win. I haven't seen anything today to make me think the players responded hugely to Lambert. He walked off the pitch looking like quite a lonely man tonight, I thought. I wouldn't be surprised if Marcus Evans does pull the plug. I would like him to have that decision, to make the change. I'm not one for calling people names. As I said to you on Thursday night, Ross, I think Lambert is probably trying his very best, but at the moment it's just not working. So we say thanks and let's move on, because I can't see where our season's going right now, and it needs somebody to come in and give us a injection of direction and enthusiasm and passion, and because we lack that again today.
Well, Brad, thank you for joining me once again. Another defeat for Town. So, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that it could be, unless something radically changes, could be one of his last games today. I feel like over the last couple of weeks, probably even a couple of weeks ago, I don't think there was too much pressure on him, but now I feel like there's proper pressure. I don't see the players playing for him. In interviews with players, you don't necessarily hear them backing the manager, because they must be aware of what's going on. They must be aware that obviously the banner that was outside the training ground. I'm sure the club made people aware of the club about what's going on social media, what the fans are saying. I think that the pressure's ramping up on him, and I don't really see anyone jump into his defence. You'd expect to see someone like Luke Chambers maybe, or the players, any one of those players jump into his defence like they did with Mick when Mick was going. But I don't see that. I don't see as though they're playing for him. I don't really see any closing down, any real energy about the pitch. So I think he's lost interest for him personally. In regards to the game, we're just so poor at the back. I know we've not really got anything going forwards to get into decent positions, but defensively, we were solid earlier in the season, but I think that was more of a case of the strikers not putting their chances away for the opposition. But now we've played Hull and Charlton, you do see how poor at the back we really are. And yeah, it's now 7 defeats and 10. So if that doesn't put the pressure on him, I don't know what will. So yeah, obviously not happy. Kind of waiting for the final hammer on the table. Don't expect it'll be a mixed style exit where he'll be gone, but I do expect him to go eventually. It's just a matter of when now.